Next up is Nazi Neck Snap. Am I dead? Schizophrenic.
Get out!
endless veins pay for you. And every day is sorrow for work, and I keep a smile on my face. And every day I seem to think that nothing should go out of hand. When I feel down, I look at my poster and I say, all hail RATMAN. 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 And I look at myself in the mirror and I say, all hail RATMAN. All hail RATMAN.
Welcome to In the Scene, live here in the 757. We're sitting here with two young guns who are lighting up the scene in the 757. We're sitting here with RATMAN and Arora. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
So, how long have you guys been playing music together?
That's the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know that you kind of
Together?
like did your own thing for a while, and then now Aurora's into the fray.
Yeah, we both have solo projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they called?
Mine's Aurora Unholy and his RATMAN.
I'm
Yeah,
RATMAN.
it's easy enough. So, when you guys first started playing together, you know, was there a certain like sound you guys wanted to go for?
I got a good story. So
This is gonna be good.
So one of my uncle's friends, who's also one of my friends, Gusto, hit me up and he was like, hey man, I know that you and your uncle play music. Do y'all want to play a show on, I forgot the date, it was a while ago.
September 19th.
September, yeah, oh okay, September
I don't know how I
19th.
remember that.
I don't know. But it was at the Riff House Pub. We were playing with Deterioration, Redundant Protoplasm, and Suppression. And which all those bands I absolutely love. And I was like, look, me and my uncle, we don't have any music right now, but I can make a band and we can record as much as possible in the matter of 2 weeks. So
2 weeks?
yeah, it was
Oh,
very,
2 weeks for you.
Yeah.
1 week for me.
Wow.
Which I had to do the drums. And I still haven't forgiven you for that. But
Sorry. So I hit up Arora and she was like, yeah, okay. So we did as much as possible in a matter of a week. We weren't prepared whatsoever.
yes, but I think you were forgetting that at first. I was like, no. And I was like, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then like
I had to
3 days
convince
later, I was
you.
like, you're crazy. And then I went in
Why'd you
again.
say no?
Because it was like, you want a week to write a 15-minute set and program it and learn
You
it?
just wing it, man.
Yeah.
You just wing it. That's cool. So now you guys have been playing shows together.
Yeah. That show specifically, that wasn't RATMAN. That was Skin Grinder, which was a project with me and her and another one of my
Just
friends.
half of Skin Grinder.
Yeah, it was another one of my friends was supposed to play, but last minute he was like, "Hey, I work at Dairy Queen, so I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay."
Quitters never win, man.
I know, but
So you just dropped a new EP, Prepare for Tomorrow. What was the concept behind that?
so the name "Prepare for Tomorrow" that comes from you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You're not gonna know what's gonna happen next week. So in all reality, I think you need to live today like it's gonna be your last. You know, like don't just skip out on chances that could be so memorable, so useful to you. Just kind of have fun where you're at right now, because you know most people, they're stuck at a dead-end job. They kind of miss their chance on living their childhood. So specifically for people who are my age, or at least the range of 18 to 16, around there, have fun while you can before
Absolutely,
you become an
man.
adult. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because it gets harder and harder as you get. Which I thought that was really cool about not only like your music, but the fact that you book a lot of shows around here.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's super cool to see, especially you being at such a young age, really, putting your nose to the grindstone. And we always preach about it here all the time, that the DIY spirit is the only thing that's going to keep it moving. And we talked about when State of Emergency was in here about how it's really cool to see a younger generation actually taking the reins and trying to make something. So I thought that was really cool. So you book a bunch of like bands that I personally haven't heard before. Where do you find a lot of your music at?
So I get everything from my uncle, Billy Varela. Check him out. He makes music. He's on basically all streaming platforms, which he's my producer. He helped me produce everything.
Nice.
And while I'm at it, I should probably say that Scott Chapman helped me master the EP.
Shout out Scott.
Yeah. But anyways, my uncle is my biggest musical inspiration. He helps me out with all my music. He tells me things that like, hey man, it'd be cool if you do this and that. I'm like, you're right. He helps me with just about everything musically. He knows all these bands, and he also has friends who knows even more bands. So I kind of like go from where they're at, and I just kind of like make friends with them, and I like, hey, you want to play a show? Yeah, okay. So it's really just a giant system that I kind of have to go through in order to
It's all
book
about
these
networking,
shows.
man. So like for people, who are either, older age like we are or young age like you are, what would you recommend for someone who's trying to book shows like in their local town or the local scene? Because you're definitely, doing the damn thing up here and putting bands on all the time. So, what's your process like when you're trying to book a show?
I would say, kind of make friends with the people who, whether it's a venue or a house show, kind of make friends with them. That'll make things easier for the future, because instead of having to go through the process of trying to message them, it's just a simple, hey, what's up? What are you doing then? So
Not hitting up a stranger.
yeah, so make sure you make friends with wherever or whoever you're trying to book. It's a large process, but just in general, make sure that you're
Having building a
humble.
relationship, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, you've played shows by yourself. I think that takes a lot of balls to just get up there and really just like, I'm a one-man show. What made you think that, like, screw it, I'm not gonna wait for anybody else or build a band, I'm just gonna do it?
Well, just that in general. One thing that my uncle actually also told me is don't rely on anyone else. If you're someone who wants to play music, but you have nobody else who likes your music taste, or you don't know any drummers, no bassists, no nothing, learn that stuff and be self-sufficient. Do
yeah.
what you want to do. Screw whatever anyone else thinks, and just, don't be reliable on other people. That's just kind of life in general.
Absolutely.
You're your own train. Don't rely on your
It
friends
all
to give you the
comes
gas.
from within you, man.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you keep doing what you love, it'll grow and grow and grow, and people will understand how, genuine you are about your own style. And that's what I think is cool about you, is like, no, it can be it's really inflated as far as like a lot of bands starting to sound like another one. So were there any, bands that inspired what kind of sound you guys are looking to create?
So definitely a lot of solo projects. Well, solo project kind of mix of, so like one of my favorite bands in general is Today Is the Day. They're not a solo project. They actually have instruments. But I feel like their sound is really cool. It's very experimental. And I really think that a lot of people who are trying to make music they should kind of fade away from the titles, like, oh, I'm a hardcore band, I'm a, melodic death.
It limits you. It
Yeah.
really limits because, your musical taste changes as you get older. You see all these bands who've been playing for 5, 8, 10 years, and they've got 10 albums out, but, they keep evolving as musicians. Some people are like, oh, I don't like that album, but I mean, if you've been playing these same type of songs for, a decade or however long, you got to switch it up, right?
It gets boring. Yeah, that's what happens to a lot of famous musicians. They just keep going wherever they're going, and it just starts to suck.
Yeah. Where do you want to take the RATMAN experience? What are some of your goals?
I actually, funny you say that, because I specifically have like a notepad with all like future RATMAN goals, like anything. Like, for example, I wanted to play more than 5 shows, which I've done. And I actually made a thank you post on my Instagram saying thank you to all the bands and all the people who supported me. But I want to go out of state. I've been to Richmond. I played a show in Richmond, but I want to go farther. Like, I want to do an East Coast tour, maybe. And even if I'm available, I want to be able to do like an entire nation tour. I do not care. Music is everything to me, and it's not as stressful as it would be if I'm, working.
Yeah.
It's work, but it's a passion.
Yeah, and if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Are you plan on adding other members to the group, or is you just gonna rock it y'all two, or?
Right now, we're thinking just kind of keep it simple. Like if we have people who are willing to say, "Hey, I'd love to play shows with you. I know your tracks. I know how to play them." Then I'd be totally okay with it. Yeah, let's play a show together. I'd be totally down. But like I said, it's easier to be self-sufficient and reliable on yourself instead of having to wait for someone else to, show up and then last minute they don't know how to do anything. That's also why I learn a lot of instruments. Like I can play drums, bass, guitar, and I do vocals, and I play a little bit of piano every now and then, but that's for another day.
So you played a good amount of shows, so far, and you booked a lot of shows. What are some of your favorite memories of maybe shows you played, shows you booked? What are some of your favorite memories? Any crazy stories?
So RATMAN would be nothing if it weren't for the homies at Team Deathmatch, If Only, and Backslide. They're all from Georgia, and they came down. Lost Life booked them, and they came down. They needed a local band to play because the one band that was supposed to play wasn't able to play that night, so they hit up RATMAN, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. So I went over that night. They absolutely loved everything that I was doing. They were the first people to mosh to my music.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It felt incredible. It's so great to see people move to your music. Like there's a lot of bands out there who they could just simply say, move it, and then people just start moving. But for small bands or small artists like me, it's hard to have a lot of audience participation. So the fact that they took that extra step, even with it was like 5 people who was at that show, which was the bands, then they still made it fun. They still they made me feel like I was an actual musician and not just some kid playing guitar.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And
So-
that's really one of the best things about the music scene. It's like it's all run and supported by the people who create it, and most people who attend these shows have dipped their toes in the music at one point or another. Do you have any shows or anything coming up you want to promote?
So I got one show in August that I booked as well. August 4th, we're gonna have RATMAN play Septic Vomit, which is Gore Grind from Charlottesville. We're also gonna have Yeet Cleaver play, and we're gonna have Fupa Goddess. All those bands are gonna be playing on August 4th at the Riff House Pub. And we also got another show happening October 13th, Friday the 13th Fest, which will be a lot of fun.
Is that Riff House too?
Yeah.
Tight. Hell yeah. Well, we really appreciate you guys coming on. Is there anybody you want to shout out or anything before you head out?
Yeah. I already shouted out Scott Chapman, Billy Varela. I specifically want to shout out my uncle because without him, I wouldn't be playing music where I'm at right now, and I feel like I also wouldn't be as involved in the scene. So Billy Varela, huge shout out, and shout out to Arora for helping me out with everything. Shout out to the scene. Shout out to the studios.
Yeah.
Love it here.
Damn right. You guys been watching In the Scene. This is RATMAN. Check out his new EP, Prepare for Tomorrow, on all streaming platforms. We'll catch you next time.